Folks, hello, and we are live. Welcome to Talking Crit. Stage right, my hand's pointing to me left, but whatever the fuck. That is none other than Bad Mike, my once a week work spouse. As a Brady Bunch image, but directly below me is Rocky Gardner, and to his stage right, below Mike, I'm not going to make any comments besides saying that, is Ian McGotti. Together, they make Silver Bulette. I'm going to put a link into the chat.
Silver and the Bulette, or the Bulette and the silver. Yes, I do. And so we have these two knuckleheads on this week because we had them on the last time. They had a Kickstarter for something called Fantastic Geographic, which, by the way, is actually fantastic. It is 68 pages of adventures, artwork.
Is it geographic, Mike?
Oh my God! It's the most geographic.
It is though. It has several different geographic locations.
Yes.
Okay. Like stuck throughout it. So you find a lighthouse stuck somewhere you could stick in an adventure. Yep. You find a dragon and how that would affect like a desert in any sort of sandboxy game you were playing. Even hex crawl games would be great for.
All kinds of stuff. I'm impressed the way you had. I mean, it just covers every. I'm impressed the way my buddy Dave Simpson's artwork came out. His Cyber Zombie. He was very happy about that.
He made two of them, and they feature prominently in issue 2.
Yes, he was very excited. So anyway, just a great for $15. You cannot beat the awesomeness in here. And so we happened. Well, I'm not going to say we looked at it. I'm just saying we got our attention brought to the fact that hey, Fantastic Geographic 2 is up because these two idiots don't know how to advertise or
I think we do
no clue.
Sort of.
No clue.
We know how. I think it's just like life got away from us. We were both busy. We're like, we'll get to that next week.
Happened in the middle. The convention happened right in the middle.
But despite our lack of advertising, we are still keeping to our production plans for the year, like a machine that just keeps rolling. So I mean, we're funded. So we've like I said to you guys before, like we've broken even. My goal is hit. Like,
there you go.
Anything extra?
Rest is gravy.
Yeah,
well, I went ahead. I just
more art mostly. Yeah,
I just backed because I didn't even really know because that's how far off the map you guys are at this point. But you did fund. Yes, you did fund. Now you're just trying to make a little gravy before the next 3 days, and so that's why we brought you on here, so we can talk to you about what's been going on the past couple months and how Rocky got absolutely screwed by American Airlines. We're going to call out American Airlines.
Damn them, those commie bastards.
Effed him over. He did not make it to North Texas, and then we're going to talk to Ian about who did make it to North Texas about what he did and ran and all kinds of stuff, and then I don't know, talk about whatever else. I mean, that probably about a good 15 minutes, and then we're just kind of vamp for an hour and 45 minutes after that. So that'll be great. That'll work out perfectly.
Oh, by the way, guys, I see that you have 99 backers. The bar I've been told for OSR success is 90 copies. So if you pass 90 copies, you are a success.
There we go.
Don't ask me to set that bar, but believe me, it was set. It was set high. St. Cuthbert, yes, the Tenkar Minions crowd is slowly building. They don't get paid, and they're barely fed.
That's the definition of minion, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Below intern, that's for sure, and they don't get paid.
You got some Mork Borg in this latest issue, and we have some Mork Borg stories from North Texas too.
That was
Mork Borg,
and I actually ran the adventure that's going to be in. That was like another playtest of that. That was, nice. And that was I'd say the last one. That one it ran pretty seamlessly. It was a blast. I had a great time. Like I always do.
As long as the DM has a good time, right?
Yeah, who cares? The players, come on, man.
Mike hit the
Thank
wrong
God.
button this time.
Thank God you
There
hung
you
up
go.
on Eric. I'm so
Like-
sorry you have to deal with him.
I'll just like move people around. Just slide them around.
Ooh, I'm on top.
Now you're on top. We'll put Mike in like the in the premier position. He can't. He was having. I know it's not the weather, okay? Because if it was the weather, we would have.
I would not be able to get on a plane.
Well, see now, Rocky. I was able to get on a plane. I was able to land. So, Mike. So what did you do, Mike?
I got booted. I was just sitting here and my it recycled or something. All of a sudden it started spinning, and then you guys were gone.
All
So
right.
typical
So now
kick-ass
I
internet
think
here.
you looked
Kick-ass.
stunned when you came back, like you really were booted. Like, oof.
It's like,
What
holy-
There's Skeeter. Yeah,
too many
with a friend
minions
like
around,
him, you don't
yeah.
need enemies in the toilet.
Well.
Yeah, that's whatever.
There's-
Thanks to our pal Skeeter for coming on the show last week. We had a great time. We had a lot of kudos about that show. A lot of people contacted me and said that they had. So we may have to have Skeeter on every once in a while, I guess. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude, I hear.
Yeah, Skeeter's a crowd drawer. If
Is he
he'd
really?
only do his
Is he?
own show. What the?
Yeah,
Isn't there a
you can't
show
get
that
Zach.
he used to do?
Zach is such a slacker. God, Zach is the worst slacker of all time. Skeeter's all like a little kid. He's all excited about doing GDZ, this, and that. And then Zach's like, I don't think so. I got to eat dinner out this week.
Yeah, I got.
I'm
real
going to a
stuff
French
to do.
place and I got to photograph the food.
I'm swiping the free night this summer because we're all gonna play some Mutant Year Zero. So hopefully that's his podcast tonight.
See, I mean, if Skeeter's upset that he doesn't have the subscribers, we're willing to give him a night here once a month. without Mike or I, just go, hey,
In the
Skeeter,
Tenkar, in the Tenkar, the Tavern Network.
the Tenkar Tavern Network. Tavern
TTN.
on TNTV. Tavern
Craig-
Network Television.
Craig
I'm making
reminds
a
me of something there.
What,
TTN
Craig
show.
Jansen says, looks like you're still losing the auction. I'm just gonna. We'll stop down the show for a second, but our buddy Lloyd Metcalf, artist, he had all his teeth pulled out of his head and fake teeth put in because his teeth were so bad. So he finagled a trip to Costa Rica because it's like 10 times cheaper there than it is in the United States. And we were able to get Lloyd half his goal, which is about $9,000. And he traveled to Costa Rica right after the con and got all his choppers pulled out. We had pictures of him, and he looks great with fake teeth. Looks awesome.
He does. I've been following that pretty close. I lost
Man, he looks.
year ago.
I kind of want to get fake teeth now. Those
Yeah.
look awesome.
And he looks like he's on vacation too, because they're like it's all sunny. You see him.
Yeah, he's like he's in the jungle with a Mai Tai, but no,
he look that swollen or anything.
he had a little. Yeah, he said he's had some issues, and he had to end up staying an extra day because he probably flew American Airlines, and we all knew what a shit show that is. And so he got canceled. He had to stay an extra day, some other things. So he is a little short on the money he raised. So we're having an auction of some other Lloyd stuff that we weren't able to auction for midnight auction. And that's going on right now on Facebook on the North Texas RPG auction page. Eric can probably throw a link up there at some point.
Oh my God! The Facebook link you want? Oh my God!
I can send you one. I'll send it to you.
No, I can get it. I can get it.
Okay, golly.
You
Anyway, so
make
we have an
me
auction of some
work.
Hey,
original.
when your
we got a
name's
bunch of
on the
original
title,
art.
you got to do the work.
We got a bunch of original art. We have a painting that Lloyd did, a little mini painting. We've got some Gary Con adventures that Lloyd did work on that were signed by Luke and Jim Ward and Lloyd. And we just got a bunch of interesting. We've got about 15 items there, and so we're trying to raise about $1,000 for that. Looks like we're right on target. So if you get a chance, you might want to check that out. If you're on Facebook, check out the North Texas RPG Con auction page. And I was bidding on one painting of of Lloyd's because I remember exactly when it was done. It was done when it was actually during a con, and Doug gave Lloyd a tiny little canvas about that. Oh, hell, right here. I think I've got it right here. I do. Gave him a little canvas and said, "Why don't you paint something?" And so Lloyd painted a fighter. Just kind of a cool little
That's
scene.
pretty cool.
It's very early Lloyd. It's not the kick-ass Lloyd now. You can tell he's still learning. But I always love that piece. I love that piece, and so I bid on it, and I'm getting my ass kicked on it. So it looks like I ain't getting it. So
Lloyd has definitely matured into exceptional artist. He has actually Fantastic Geographic 1 has a piece in there by Lloyd. It's like that really creepy fish in the lighthouse, a giant giant anglerfish. That piece is sick good. And he did
really good.
the lighthouse artwork for that as well. So, which I was like, if we're gonna have someone do lighthouse artwork, it's got to be a New Englander. Nothing better than a native Mainer to draw you a lighthouse.
We raised about $3,000. He was about $3,000 short with the con game, and we raised all that in the midnight auction, and it was pretty amazing. We had one guy won a package, and he said, "Yeah, just go ahead and auction it again." So he just basically paid $500-$600 and didn't even take it. So we're auctioning parts of that, which include a failed project that he was going to do for Ernie Gygax that just fell through. So he had all the artwork for it. Well, Bob Brinkman was actually working on it. I think Ernie was supposed to write it. And Ernie flaked out. Shocked face.
And you're stealing all the art.
Well, he had. I mean, it's his art. He owns it. He never got. I think even Bob paid him for it. So Bob owns the rights to it. It's just that he had the original art, and so.
Hold on a second, Greg. I got to get my hair.
Four favorite people in the world. That's not what you told me when you were at North Texas, Greg. But hey, we'll go with that.
Greg slipped me his room key at North Texas, so I don't know about that man crush. Who's doing better?
I was in the car with he and Jeff Talanian for about 5 hours the next day, so I got my Greg.
Yeah, I know. I'm super jealous. That was that.
I had Greg on one side. And
sounds
Jeff
like
on
a
the
really
other.
fun trip.
It was great. We're going to make it every year, I think. If somebody wants to go, I'm up for going on Monday. Anybody ever wants to go on Monday and they want to stay over, I think.
We tried on Monday.
I tried that last year.
It's closed. We don't have the connections you do.
No, you just have to call. You have to know you have to call them. You have to call and talk to them. And it helped that this is the week where they have something called Howard Days, when everybody comes to town. It's a tiny little town. You can't even stay in town. You have to get a hotel room like 30 minutes away. And they have lectures there, and they open the library up to the special collection there, and it's really cool. And they open the Howard House. But since they were doing it this week, they were already at the house cleaning up and getting everything ready, so it worked out perfectly. We could just kind of slide in there, and there was a couple other women there that were already taking the tour, and so we just kind of slid into their tour group and made a 5-some instead of a 2-some, and we just did the tour. It's a tiny little house, and it takes about 2 hours because they go over every bit of minutia about Howard, every room in the house, and what's going on there. And it's amazing. It's amazing that tiny little. You go in that house, you're like, his room. It's literally like 10 foot wide by like 10 foot long. I mean, it's just this little. It's like a porch if you screen in a real small porch, which is basically what they did. And that was his room. It's insane, and just to know that's where he did everything right in that little house, and it's just so small and so tiny. It's just amazing. I mean, it's like only got 3. You walk in, there's a bedroom on one side, a living room. You walk like 10 more feet, there's Howard's tiny little room. There's a kitchen. That's it. And then there's a couple of back rooms that honestly I don't think were there when the house was built. I think they were added on later. But that's the entire house, and that's it. So yeah, we had a blast. We went there, and I'd like to make that a part of the convention every year. Somebody wanted to go the day after. It's about 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours there. You about 2 hours to take the tour, and then about 2 hours back, and then you always stop for some place to eat along the way. So it's fun. It's fun. That was with Greg and Jeff Talanian, and I'm glad they both got to see it because they're both huge Howard. I mean, especially Talanian. What a Howard fanatic he is with his. And so it's funny because the lady gave the tour was this little lady named Arlene, and she's like your grandma. And so I'm trying to tell her who these guys are. These are guys, and she just, I don't think she really, they had some examples, like role playing games. They don't, that's not really her bag, right? And so we were trying to explain that Jeff wrote, Hyperborea, and Greg wrote some stuff, and I think she kind of didn't really understand what role, but they had a couple role playing games. This year the theme of the convention was role playing games with Conan. So they had some, so she was trying to kind of get what those.
Jeff should have been guest lecturer.
I know Jeff and Greg would have been bigger. The guy they had, I'd never heard of. I think he worked on Mongoose's Conan game. I had no clue who he was. I'm thinking these two guys are way bigger than the guys you're having. So it was fun. We had a good time.
I forgot.
Ian, you get a question from Greg Gillespie.
Steve, yeah, Sturm has a pretty awesome death. He's a pretty good character. I'm weird. I like a lot of characters. I don't fall too in love with any one person, but Sturm is up there. I also dig the dwarf quite a bit. Flint is pretty sweet for Dragonlance. Flint is Flint is.
Yeah, Tanis was my favorite by far. Like miles.
Tanis Half-Elven. What do I remember about the character? I mean,
I only like Raceland's the only one that character that he matters, man.
Yeah, Raceland was pretty great.
They don't matter.
Everybody else is secondary. And and let's not discuss the modules because we'll go off about railroads and Goldwind. Nest. She can't die.
They're trying to tell a story.
Yeah.
If your character falls off a cliff, make sure you bring them back next time you play. With no explanation of how they survive.
It's a good thing you landed on that tree branch and bounced onto another branch and then fell into the water.
Yeah, but we've all been caught in those RPGs where you just want your character to die so you can bail, and you just can't get out.
You can't. Dragonlance won't let you die. Like, oh my god! Come on! I'm trying to get. I take on the red dragon. I shoot my dagger and I rush.
I wanted to die heroic death, and now I
Ian's
can't.
character rushes in with the dagger, and then we don't see him again. And then next session, okay, Ian's character, you survived. You're like, what the fuck? I tried to kill this guy. How did I live?
Groundhog Day.
Oh, Groundhog Day, the RPG. Oh, that would be a pretty interesting module for an OSR game. For
Groundhog Day could have a fun.
That was the main problem with Dragonlance is that. Because most people don't realize Dragonlance is all first edition. It's not second edition. It's first edition. Because they always go, oh, that's what happened. It was second edition. No. Dragonlance is first edition. What people are upset about was it was the first Dungeons & Dragons adventure where you had to basically, you're going to play famous people and nothing bad's going to happen to you. And that was their mistake. They should have said, look, this is set in the Dragonlance world. Right. You can play any character. They should have never had the templates for the characters from the books there, and then basically said, hey, just act out what happens in the books. It's stupid. It's going to be stupid, but just do it.
Yeah, it should have. I see how they could have advertised that a little better. We just played it with our own characters though, and just ran amok, and it was madness. And we had character deaths constantly.
I never played any of them.
We stab her through the heart. She's dead.
Put her in the sack. She's easier to carry that way.
We don't care what the book said. Screw it.
And that's not the last time they did that. When they were going from first edition to second edition, the Time of Troubles, or what it was called, they had these 3 adventures that, the events had to happen. There's Cyric has to
nobody can die. Those were terrible, too. Those were absolutely awful. You cannot make a good adventure where you had... It reminds me, probably my favorite set of modules ever for just sheer ridiculousness is the original Conan modules. And I'm not talking about the later Conan game that TSR came up with. I'm talking the original CB1 Conan, CB2, whatever. And I think Zeb was talking. You were there. During the convention. It was the last night of the convention. Actually, it was Sunday night. Zeb was holding court in one of the boardrooms, and Eric was there. And we were asking about really crappy projects he worked on, like the Honeymooners board game and stuff. And so we're talking about the Conan. It's like, what can you do? So you have your characters. One's Conan. Who doesn't want to be Conan? So one person gets to be Conan, everybody else gets to be the sidekicks, which sucks. You can't die. These characters were like level 14 with 800 hit points, and I can't remember, they had 2 or 3 characters in the back, and so you have to make an adventure where they go on an adventure, but they really can't die, and how terrible that is. And so we had some fun with Zeb talking about that.
And the adventure game couldn't have character creation rules, so they couldn't give you PC character creation rules. So they had a back end.
They weren't allowed to.
They had a back end and give you non-player character creation rules which are basically character creation
which
rules.
they suggested could be used for creation. That's the dumbest thing. Yeah,
They just put
we don't
put
actually
the
own
end
the rights to
50%
actually
opacity.
but they didn't own the rights to actually create a character for the game, so they had to sneak it in by saying, "If you wanted to create an NPC, wink, wink, here's what you could do. It's really easy." And so,
what did you run at North Tech? Did you actually run anything this year, Mike? Did you run?
I didn't run anything, but I have talked to Gary, and I'm definitely running next year. We've already made plans. I will run. I'm going back to running B1 next year after a 3-year hiatus. I had too many people ask me about it. Gary wanted me to do it. We're just going to have to find time for me to do it. So I'm going to have to find 6 hours, and I can do it because everybody was interested in me running a game.
Run it twice.
I'll run it once at least. But yes, I'm going to do a game this.
I'll just submit it in your name.
You said you ran more. Actually, I think it's pronounced Merkberg, right, Eric? It's not more.
I don't know. I always said
You gotta pronounce it like the Swedish chef.
Merkberg.
Yeah, probably.
Sweet, I am not.
Like I am. I'm a German mutt.
Well, how did your Merkberg game turn out?
I thought they were creative. They met the end foe and did some creative stuff to it. But Noah Green ended up climbing on the ceiling, but he had like random rolled all his decoctions. He was like the alchemisty character, so he was climbing on the ceiling above this giant monster in a big vat of ale that was huge, 15 feet across, and he just like dropped something else that just made it sick. It just started puking, which I just thought was hilarious.
Nice.
It was great, yeah. Puking up bits at people that had eaten. It was pretty
nice.
Gross.
Ew.
Yeah. But that game is pretty gross, I'd say. But that game is that one was fun. It's a tavern crawl, I guess you could call it. And that one's in the upcoming issue as well. But it's like you go into this tavern because there's free drinks, and each room you can try to transfer from room to room. But they're each different. We've got a whole bunch of as Rocky and I are classic for, loving on the charts, like random roll charts. So you can random generate weird tavern rooms stuff, which is a blast to do. I have fun every time I do it because I let the players roll them, and then you're like, some of them are great.
Here's what you did to your own character. You screwed your own character. Not my problem. I didn't roll.
Now,
Guppy's played that one too at the Chaosium Con.
Yeah, Chaosium Con.
He did very well at getting in and getting through crowds. It was an excellent noble.
Man, I'm gonna have to look at driving up there next year for Chaosium Con because everybody had a blast there. Everybody that I talked to.
Come on up. It's in my home state, so
it's the same amount of territory as going to Madison. It's just
don't
drive,
take American.
Hours. No, I drive. I always drive now. Don't fly anymore.
All right, okay. If it's in your state, what season is it in?
It's in mid-spring.
Oh, okay.
There was no snow on the ground.
All right.
It's after GaryCon, so
yeah, it's after GaryCon, so you're pretty safe.
It's warmer than that because we're directly west or directly east of Wisconsin, just across the lake.
Okay.
And then they're a little bit further east of us, so they're a little bit further south too. They're pretty much on the Ohio border.
I heard they did a really good job, and I really wanted to go to GameholeCon this fall. Looks like it's not going to happen this fall, unfortunately, because I talked to Alex. It turns out that the convention this year, GameholeCon, is the exact same weekend as a home Badger game, Michigan Badger.
Again.
Sure.
The hotel rooms I saw were $450.
I saw this. I was wondering what happened with that. Yeah.
And I just can't afford it. And my points, they won't take any points, so you don't get any points. So I just can't. I told Alex I probably have to miss my first GameholeCon in quite a long time because I just can't justify the ticket cost because of the hotel rooms. So my wife and I decided we're going up there in July for about a week to Madison because I just wanted to show her Madison, and I was going to take her this fall, but not.
It's a cool town.
Yeah, it's a college town. We like college towns. It's kind of fun.
Yep. And I agree, Peter. We should flap those.
ask Zach if you can store some stuff in his room when you go up there, and just bring a cot in.
I don't think Zach's going. Well, I know Bill's a special guest, but I don't know if Zach's going. I know Bill's going to go, and probably somebody with him, but I don't know who that is, and I don't know if we're having a table there. We may just be selling stuff out of the Troll Lord Games booth, so we might not even have a table at Game Hole this year. So, but then I thought, well, maybe we'll go to GaryCon instead, because I missed GaryCon this year too. But man, I don't know, with all the shit going on at GaryCon, I have to skip that one too. It's getting weird there, man. GaryCon's getting weird. Things are happening. It's just weird.
Everything's weird right now post COVID, right? Like, no convention is running the way it should yet. I don't know about Texas. It
ran perfectly.
I wasn't there, but
Pretty good.
I mean, it didn't because I didn't make it.
Right.
That part sucks.
That's your fault.
No, you're right. It didn't.
Your fault, Mike.
I'm sorry. American
How
Airlines.
dare you, Mike?
It's not my fault. It's American Airlines. But it sounds like, Game Hole Con, I guess you could actually go to that and start selling rooms for that yet. But maybe you get. But I don't know.
I think they're sold out.
Our Satine and Jameson are not going to go to Game Hole, right? I mean, we know.
Yeah,
that.
but I bet they have a room that they're looking for someone to take a reservation of.
But I don't think it's going to be. Well, they might not this year after everything has happened.
Yeah,
But Greg might be able to get their hotel reservation.
I think they're laying low this year, so they might not be going. So maybe I know Eric and I talked about getting a villa there, which would be super fun. I think that'd be awesome. Maybe if we were lucky, our villa would be next to Ernie and Lanas's villa.
Well, because
we could just walk across and just talk to us. Hey, what's up, dude?
Well, Ernie's going to have a villa, right? Because he's going to need the whole court, and we could hold court, so we can have
this would be awesome. We could have a guest on Talking Crit that week.
I think you should, but that would be a great event for a game, is to hold court, let players bring problems with DMs and shit to you and complain, and then you rule on them. You could do that.
Oh, that would be a lot of fun.
I like it.
That would be a blast.
I like that.
You're like, this is like so and so my DM in our home campaign. And he just lays out his problem for you. The other guy gets to argue.
Just right. Eric and I make these big thrones, just sit up there.
Yep.
The wisdom of the tavern says, and we got the magic 8-ball.
We have we'll hear it, and then Eric, I get together, we do this. Okay. Then we have a decision, and then we go, okay, it's been ruled upon by.
That would be a good convention event.
Oh yeah,
your DM is correct. Stop whining.
Yes, but
get out of here. Next,
we would need an actual notary, because that would make it even better.
Yeah,
and have the paper.
You give him a notarized ruling.
Have Ty Beard in the jester outfit. Ty does all. He looks over the legal. He's like, it works. Okay, your DM is correct. You are a fool. Your sentence is you cannot complain about a ruling for the next 6 years. Get out of here. Get a next person. No, that would be fun, man. I like it. Yeah. It says we have
white wigs for sure. Yeah,
white powder wigs.
I'm sure Zach can supply the white wigs, right? Because wasn't he giving away one of those wigs with the?
He had one in his civilization.
I have a picture of it in a minute. Yeah.
And then we can ask, sometimes we go, well, your DM's wrong. And so the DM would actually have to call us and go, hey, my player says he got back for the convention. Yes, he got back, and you're wrong. He's right.
I've got paperwork. It's signed by the tavern.
You ruled on that wish horribly. That's a horrible wish ruling. No, we've decided. We reversed it.
DM says you screwed us. The court says you screwed us.
Matthew, if a halberd has a weapon speed of 2.8 and a rapier has a speed of 1.2, what is the armor class of a swimming dwarf? That is a ruling that Mike and I could definitely.
Yes, we would have a little discussion there.
Yes.
Like Coach has to confuse us with irrelevant information. Is this dwarf attacking underwater? Why do we need to know his initiative?
If he's butt naked.
That's a trick question almost.
Well, it depends.
And if he's in the water, is he abandoning the weapon?
No.
Why would a dwarf swim anywhere? I'm suspicious about this whole case.
Yeah, swimming dwarf. You know what?
It makes no sense. Yeah, I'm a little
into a river.
I'm a little suspicious of this shit.
Laden or unladen AC.
Is this an unarmored dwarf or an armored dwarf?
Oh, he got laid. He got laid earlier that night by a wonderful bearded dwarven lady. He ran his hands through her beard.
Doesn't that make him unladen then?
Unladen. He grabbed onto her beard during the throes of passion. Oh, come on. Yeah, that was great.
Mike, have you started drinking it, or are we just?
Yes, I did. I have started.
I was like, this-
I only had a couple of cheeseburgers in my stomach, so. Or
old,
terrible
old McDonald's cheeseburgers.
from like some undetermined location. I don't know. It was. I do things I do for the show, man. It's just it's amazing the passion I feel for this. The passion I feel for this business, and the passion I feel for you too. I just whatever it takes.
That's not the kind of passion I wanted to be discussing.
Oh well, I previewed this shirt at the convention. I knew this is an old Lloyd logo that he made up. Bad Mike's Books and Games, and I always give it to Lloyd because my initials, Bad Mike, are BM basically. So you don't want to put BM on the shirt because then you just become a laughing stock. But he figured a way to do it. He was very cool, where it's not necessarily BM. Right. And that way, I don't just have a shirt that has BM on it. And people are like, oh, man, you got a BM going here? What's up? So, yeah, I thought he did a great job with this logo. I use it on my website still. It's really good. So kudos to Lloyd for more cool already did.
All right, so before we totally derail ourselves, before we were even
we're off the tracks.
Here, let's turn the banner off so we can.
Why is it only still at 99? I just bought mine. Somebody needs to go out there and buy 100.
Well, hold on. Maybe I have to refresh the page. Hold on. No, I'm refreshing the page. No, it says they got 99 backers. It doesn't.
Somebody needs to get 100. Do I have to give a prize or something? I might have a prize here I can give out.
They got 99 backers and Mike ain't one.
Yeah, what the heck,
If we get to 100 during the show, I'll show my boob. How's that?
See, hold on a second. Manage your pledge.
So Dan Smith cover on that, which it's going to be a double spread, so that'll be the back and the front. And we're working on layout now. We've been playing with layout. I really want it to look like the ape is knocking the title out of the way. So we've been playing with how close and far apart we can have it together and still make it look like what we want it to look like. So you know what it says.
And that's what I noticed still there. That's what I like with this. It's kind of slick. It's got the little OSR feel, little digest, but it's slick, man. It's got a little slickness to it. The front and back cover, and then the inside. It's real professional. It seems like it's really something that you would would really be proud of having in your collection. Not just like a cheap newsprint,
And we've we really dumped a lot of money into the quality of the print. Because we wanted these like really glossy, comic book but stiff digest covers. And if you look at the art on it that we've been putting, so there's different references to the material that's in there on each cover, which is we like to do. So the covers are like Easter eggs for a lot of the material that's in there, which is.
And it's going to be a wraparound cover. Very nice.
Yep.
I think we're actually going to have to. We have a long post-apocalyptic jungle lab adventure. I think we're going to have to.
It may not end up fitting.
It's too big. So, it's like 35. It's a full-size adventure. We're like, oh dear, how did this happen?
That's good. You're getting something for your money there. Then that's awesome.
So we might replace that and add it. We're definitely coming in like high 60s. We're trying to keep it between 60 and 80 pages tops, but just for our print sanity. But we've got a lot of stuff going on.
So what's your goal on this? So I know you guys just, hey, as long as you break even, it's okay. But you got to have a final goal here. I mean, you obviously don't want to just break even, have issue 15, just be breaking even by then. I mean, what's your goal with it, with Fantastic Geographic?
Our backing goal, I think if we had like 300 solid backers routinely. This is. Something quarterly we're going to do. So we have number 3 is planned. And we have like skeleton of 4. So we know what we're doing with those. And I think it's just becoming, we wanted to put something out fast. We had a lot of like partial stuff and things and
Right.
ideas
With
that we
me-
couldn't chase.
With me being sick for a couple of years there, the cancer and everything, like we had a whole lot of backlog of half-brained ideas that would easily fit into a zine, but none of them were a full-fledged adventure yet.
Right.
So, in order for us to get back on the saddle, this was a way to do it. Plus, the IPU, Wampler puts out amazing magazines. Levi puts out amazing magazines. Skeeter's getting to the point of putting out amazing magazines.
Oh.
Well, he's
Wow.
only done those first couple, and they're great, right? But he's
Okay.
done modules previous to that, so he's
True.
still in the learning phases of the magazines. But I really love the Valley Out of Time. Like, I cannot wait to get the second 2 parts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It really is. It really is.
He went out of the park for the maps too in that one.
So there's a question, but I think it's really like not your question. I think this is a Trollord question. The acceptable ratio of typos per page.
Ours is as many as we can find. If you find a typo in our stuff, it's because we didn't see it in all the times that it was proofread and the people that proofread it. But acceptable range, I don't know, 0 if you can get there.
Yeah.
Right? You see typos, let us know so that if we ever do a second printing, they're corrected.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we don't.
Well, if you go back to the history of zines like this, I mean, come on, there was always mistakes, and I was a big fan of a lot of the zines that came out in the late 70s, early 80s. They were always real hard to find because back then you didn't necessarily have a newsstand. Of course, obviously you didn't have anything online where you could get it. You just walk in a game store, sometimes find something like The Apprentice, magazine or something like, whoa, this is cool, and you grab it. So you were never able to complete a collection of these zines. You just found them here and there. Yep. It wasn't until the internet that you started seeing them a lot. But yeah, that was part of the charm of them, right? Is they were homemade, obviously homemade. Like anybody could do it. Anybody could do it. This kind of thing, I mean, you don't want to be too slick. You don't want to be corporate, man. Don't go corporate.
It's definitely polished.
Yeah,
I think.
But it's still our thumbprints all over it, not anybody else's. You know what I mean? Like we've had a couple of guest writers, but you can tell that I'm doing the layout. Ian is doing a lot of the writing. I'm doing my share of the. It's definitely Silver Bulette stuff. Yeah, and I don't think we'll ever go corporate.
All the maps are mine.
Nice.
Yep. Oh yeah, you do the maps too, don't you?
Damn. So you were part of the Publishers Union, Ian and Rocky, and so you guys represented at the con. You had a table with.
Most of them did. I didn't.
Well, it's not Rocky, but Skeeter and Jeff were there, and I guess Levi also. Who else is in the independent publishers union?
Jim Wampler.
Oh, Wampler! I forgot about that guy. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, so he's a good guy. We love Jim too. So how did things go there? I mean, did you get a lot of action at the booth? I mean, people walked.
Yeah, we did well. We sold a lot of stuff. Everybody sold a lot of product, and I mean that con is ripe for old school publishers.
Perfect. Yeah, it is perfect.
Like you almost can't bring enough stuff.
You had a lot of different variety of stuff at the table, which is great. There was a huge variety of stuff at the table. I mean, you could have spent a couple $100 at the table, buying.
And that was the real benefit of, and like the pitch, at least for Rocky and I too. And I was like, hey, we should, we sat down and decided that we should band together. It was like, hey, like we want to be able to offer a lot of different product, and unless you're carrying crazy inventory, which none of us really want to do. You've got to figure out a way to get that inventory. So it's banding together with people you know. So, oh wow, I've backed a lot of projects.
No, you haven't. And I can't describe the number I have because Rachel's sitting next to me.
Too bad.
Could you scroll past that, please?
He's like,
show that. His wife might walk in the room and see that. Oh my God, 142 projects.
Now, what's the history behind what I'm looking at right now, by the way?
The Venusian Flesh Gorger.
Yeah.
It's sort of like Skeeter's sci-fi world. I wrote this one for Crypto Codex, and I wrote it because I was like, I have an adventure that needs this monster. And he goes, I have a piece of art that looks like the monster you just described to me. So it was kind of just this weird thing that had happened. So yeah, there's a science lab that's like basically the source of those things. So and what they do.
Very cool. Right.
It's
So I don't know. Should I give you guys an opportunity to guess how many successful pledges I've made on Kickstarter? Rachel said she doesn't care. We're going to prove that that's wrong, but I'd like to.
I'm going to say
500.
Who
500, I guess.
So let's just quietly give him fingers so we don't have to incriminate him. Here.
So, is this including ones that you've backed for $1 just to follow?
It's all successful.
Yeah. I'm going to say 500. Seriously, I'm 500. That's my number.
I'm going to go with 501. 501.
Oh, you bastard!
What is this, Rocky? Right? Get the closest without going over.
I go 435.
Shut up.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. That's pretty close.
So the person who played with the Price is Right numbers is right. Close. But you're the closest. 510.
Oh my God, 510.
No, that's the number of projects I've backed.
I thought 500 was going to be high.
Oh no, I probably backed for more than 510, but those things never went through usually.
Wow.
I was like, oh, I know.
You were relieved.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank God, nobody really wanted that one. Only me. Thank God it was only me, because I would have really regretted that.
That's fine.
Yeah, you get all the failed Kickstarters you back too. That would be a whole book in itself.
Whoa. When you say failed Kickstarters, it is successfully funded and gave you 2 of these, right?
Yep.
Yes. I could do a book on that just by going back.
That'd be funny. Some of the oldies but the goodies, like the wandering mage. I mean, some of those are the oldies.
The wandering wizard who was
wandering wizard, Mike,
doing stand-up comedy and sleeping on.
He's back. He's back in the gaming industry, dude. I've seen his name pop up lately. He's doing something in the gaming industry. He's back after, I don't know, a decade of in the wilderness. He wandered around for like a decade and finally made it back.
God, well, he fell on his sword. I'll give him that much.
It's not hard not to screw people and just to produce something if you keep your goals manageable. Like what?
Yeah.
Listen, Matt. Rach gave me permission. Rach gave me permission. Now, what's going to probably happen is that when we get home, there'll be like a bunch of boxes of new perfumes, all waiting.
Oh no!
No.
Uh-oh.
I don't have anything on order.
Oh, all right. I stand corrected.
I mean, I can go and do some.
Oh, there you go.
Tell her to treat herself.
Yeah, she deserves it.
Yeah, Ian says treat yourself, Rach.
Definitely.
Bloomingdale's where I come.
Tell her to do whatever she likes.
No. Skeeter, if people would check their egos, they could produce RPG products.
This is why Skeeter and I haven't written anything together. Is his ego is just too big.
Oh God. Battle of the egos. No, that would be the battle of the egos right there. Oh my. That'd be ugly.
Rocky and I do it sometimes where we like correct each other and just keep undoing it back and forth.
Yeah, it's great. We did that with Creeping Cold with
it's like the Russian roulette. Which version's gonna get in?
Like we change every 3 days the spelling of that word would change throughout the entire document. So that zombie on the screen right now, that's one of my favorite articles in Fantastic Geographic #2. I had this idea of since we're doing an apocalyptic issue, I thought, what kind of zombies are out there? And I came up with, I think, 10 different zombies, and I statted 8 of them for different games. So if you get to that section, like there's a DCC MCC one, there's an OSR OSE version, there's a 5e version, there's a Morkborg, and they're all different zombies that are statted in different games. For example, there's the Glasses Zombie, which is actually a human that has on virtual reality goggles and sees the PCs as monsters.
Ooh.
So they attack. if you can get to them and take the goggles off, they'll stop attacking you. But
can you wear the goggles?
you could, and then you're going to see everybody as monsters too. But whether or not you fall into the virtual reality is a different thing.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of different zombies in there that I really like that article a lot. And we, speaking of our charts, we talked about that a little while ago. I did an apocalypse generation chart, that's about 2 pages of charts too.
Your players, you could just like, hey, someone give me a roll, please.
Yep.
And by the way, Gary is in the room. Gary, welcome.
What's up, big guy?
Going up.
Hi, Gary.
Courtney says he would never run a Kickstarter and use the word magazine.
Uh-oh.
Use the word zine. Oh, I always said Zine and got yelled at for it.
I've never said Zine.
Magazine. Magazine.
Yeah,
it's obvious.
100%, Mike.
Magazine.
I know.
Unless you say magazine.
Oh, well.
The time magazine, please.
Can I have my Listen, I need all my magazines stacked right on the floor.
In chronological order.
Yes. You have my dragon magazines, please.
Yes,
I will have them now along with my coffee. Sorry.
It's zine. Yes, it's zine.
I understand that now, but you say potato, I say potato. No?
I don't say potato. I say potato too, so there we go. We're both
God damn it. You got me caught in that loop of logic.
What? I'm looking at my emails. It says that my emails say that Dwarf Deep is now available. What the hell is this? Is this true, Greg? It is.
Greg put it up.
Oh my gosh! And both you guys had a hand in Dwarf Deep too, right? Both of you guys.
I did. That was one of the reasons why we weren't doing much advertising. I had to finish up a project for Frog God that I finished up right before the convention, and then promptly forgot to email to Frog God until after the convention because of missing my flight and whatnot. And then I had to jump right in and finish up some extra stuff for Dwarf Deep.
I'm downloading it right now. This is awesome. I'm downloading Dwarf Deep. So I get to
Dwarf Deep it's amazing. It's amazing.
I've looked at it. It looks pretty sweet. The art is awesome. It really matches it. It's layout it looks good. Like it can kill a small rat.
Yep. And with he did a little bit more with Stone Sense for the OSE stuff or the OSR stuff, and I really I think that you will see that in every game going forward of anybody that's read the book. Like he revamped Stone Sense pretty well for dwarves.
Nice. All right. Well, I got something to read the next few weeks.
Well,
we're still working on Highfell though. We gotta finish Highfell. We're not finished yet. We got things to do in Highfell before we start playing the dwarves under the earth. So I don't know. I might have to hurry him up on Highfell and just kill everybody off next session or two, just to finish them off.
So well, they are all same world, right? So there is that.
Yeah, just have Highfell crash. Have one of the towers crash right next to Dwarf Deep, and problem solved.
Right.
Well, actually, my theory, and I read this by Greg, and he said it was okay. I was thinking about doing an all dwarf party because I thought that fit pretty well.
Ooh.
And he said one of his play tests had that, so I think that's what I might try to do is go all dwarf.
I want to be in on an all dwarf party.
Me too.
I like that idea. All right, Mike.
The only thing they wouldn't have is a mage because I don't have dwarven mages in my world, but they would have priests and everything else, fighters, thieves, whatever. They just don't have a mage, but they could hire a human mage or two as cannon fodder,
just like the Hobbit, right?
They could find a wizard and.
Oh, that's so that cyber zombie there. That's my buddy David Simpson, who I introduced to the Silver Bulette boys. He's a guy I met through a comics Discord, and he'd always show me his art, which is okay. But one day he showed me some fantasy stuff. I said, "Man, your fantasy stuff is better than your comic stuff. Way better. It's really good." He's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, you could get it published." And so I showed it to a few publishers, you guys and Ben Burns and a couple of them. They're like, yeah, we'd buy his stuff. Yeah, we would buy it. And so he was super excited. And so he was, I mean, like he just like basically, I mean, it changed his life in a way. I mean, because
We bought it. Did Ben buy anything?
I think Ben is. I don't know if Ben has actually contacted him or not, but Ben said he had an idea about some of his stuff. But I ended up buying a bunch of his stuff. It's going to go in a adventure that Tom Wilson wrote for next year's North Texas RPG Con. It's a sequel to The Lost City, and so he did some art for that, and then he did some stuff for you guys too. And so that's great. He's kind of moving his way into the OSR a little bit.
We
Like I
were
said, that's
playtesting Tom's stuff too for that, and it's a blast. It was super fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, Tom didn't get it finished in time for the convention, but it'll be ready. But it's already paid for, so it's ready to roll for next year. It's going to be great. It's a giant adventure. It's like 60-something pages, module size.
wow.
Sequel to it's not really a sequel, but it's if you like The Lost City, which is a classic, B series module.
Is he going further down?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole separate level and or area in there because there's that whole city under there. If you go down there, there's
he fleshes out the city a bunch.
Yeah, it's great.
That is great.
Perfect. Yeah, I love
the
that.
The island was awful. It was really fun to play, but it was like it's terrifying.
Put me on the short list for that next year for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll have those at the convention next year. They were almost done this year. We didn't want to rush them. There was no point in rushing it, and so we had Tom's Back to Basic 11, which was our kind of our new release this year, which is his BX digest. Speaking of digest, that's a good. His digest is pretty cool too.
Yeah, he does good ones too.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll have that next year. That's gonna and it'll have some art for David in there and some other. The cover is great. I can't remember who did the cover, but they did a great job. And there was a guy that did he did some of the original art that I paid for, and so I had him send me the original art because I deserve it because I paid for it.
Who's your mic?
So he sent me a full page spread. So yeah, there's some really nice art in that beat and that. But yeah, I like the art. You got some good art in the Fantastic Geographic too. Who else did you find besides David? Who else is doing some of the art in there?
So that we've got that new woman we met in Texas named Penn Gilbert, who's going to do some dragon.
Oh, Penn! Yeah, I met her. I got a great story about Penn too. So
she's going to pick up some dragon art we had wanted. We've got Dell on deck to do some stuff. Ed Bickford's got a couple that are working now. Who else just finished? Dan Smith did the cover. And I think he's doing. I'd have to check our list again. Doing some.
We probably have Dell doing something, right?
Yeah, we've got there's a list. There's a spreadsheet. But there's a lot of varied artists, and we try to make the art like shift a little bit between the articles or like the little sections so that it feels like a different piece, which I think worked in the first issue. So we want to keep.
The cool thing about the cool thing about zines as a whole and about this in particular is that's what's so cool about it is you get you can try out people. This is a good the zine. The digest is a good place to try these people out and say, hey, look, this is you're kind of getting a foot into the big time, and you've got some skins on the wall. You did something for gaming, and I think that's great. I think that's a great aspect of it. Just finding one of these people that maybe has never done this before.
That's what I mean. We always loved the Dragon magazines and reading those. I did personally.
Yeah, me too.
This is the same sort of thing.
Well, Dragon was one of those things I could get away with during the Satanic Panic, right? Because it didn't say Dungeons and Dragons on most of the covers, so I could actually.
It's a magazine, yeah. It's a magazine, baby, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Played women on it, but it's not a Playboy.
It's not satanic.
I'm still working hard to get some sort of Princess Voyage or Voyage of the Princess Ark,
Dawn Princess,
article into here, so that will be my goal, because I'd like to see that like a recurring diary. We have something like that we might be doing. We got a couple other projects in the works too. So other than the third issue of this, which will be coming after, we'll likely have a couple modules and another zine, a smaller zine that should be coming out. maybe we'll time that one for North Texas and do.
Yeah, that'd be a good one for North Texas next year. I like that one a lot, but I don't want to say too much about it yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What about any module type? I mean, you did the creeping coal, and you've done a few other module size things.
Yep. I'm still slowly laying out Dirge of the Frost Jarl, which is the sequel to the Creeping Cold. We're talking about making that DCC MCC Venusian Flesh Gorger into a full-fledged module. We're not sure about that yet, but there are at least 2 or 3 that are in
and we've got another
process.
We've got another like Mutant Crawl Classics one that has like it already has like half dozen map assets and there's like a whole slew of writing, so it's like it wouldn't be difficult to just make it a module rather than a zine article, because it's like right at that cost. When things start to get over 20 pages for the zine, it becomes a little much, and we don't want anything to sort of dominate the whole piece like that.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
It makes sense, and I've seen that happen with Continual Light. I brought James Spawn on board to write some like stretch goal material, a micro setting, and maybe like a small adventure or two. And 18,000 words later, we've got apparently a second Kickstarter we'll be doing.
Yeah, right? Yeah, when you wrote a full-size campaign setting, and you're like, oh, we have like with art, this is we've got so many pages.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, when you have somebody like James, it's like he's like, I think I'm going to be going over my word count. I'm like, I'm not going to stop you.
He gets so excited about it too. That he has a piece in Fantastic Geographic 1 as well. That's a mercurial magpie.
Oh, cool!
It's neat. The art for that too. It has some like woodblock style art that looks pretty neat. So you'd find it in an illuminated book or something like that. But that one too, that was a James piece, which it's great. It's these birds that eat magic. They're terrible. I would absolutely stick them in the game and run with them as often as possible.
Yep,
you
they're
thought
great.
they were sturges, but they're even worse.
They're like, oh look, they're friendly birds. It's pecking my plate mail. Wait a minute.
This holes. My plate mail is beginning to look like ring mail. By the way, Rocky, just Greg Gillespie says Darrow Deep could not have happened without you.
You're welcome, Greg. I always enjoy. I will swear at him when I'm not on Skype calls with him all the time when I'm working on his books. But at the end of it, it feels so great to have such a good product released.
Mm-hmm.
I really do love working with Greg.
I'm glad that and listen, Mike has talked about this in the past, that North Texas is an amazing place for people to get to know each other, because even if deals aren't necessarily made at North Texas, it becomes a familiar face that you can deal with later and go, hey, I actually know who Rocky is. Well, I know who Greg is. And that's something that you don't get at a lot of the larger cons, because at North Texas, everybody gets to meet everybody at some point.
Well, from what I understand, that's how I started working with Greg was Greg and Zach Glazer met at North Texas, and Greg's layout guy got, I don't know what happened. He wasn't there for Highfell, and Zach told him to ask me because, Zach had met me a couple of times at North Texas and at GaryCon when it was still smaller. So that's how I ended up working with Greg, was exactly that.
I mean, I know that people have made connections through, I don't know, the extended tavern networking, because you hang out in the community, you get to know people, and you ask people that hey, do you know somebody who can do layout? Do you know somebody that
sure,
I'm looking for somebody who can write a short adventure. And that networking is because you get to meet people. So North Texas is great for that. A lot of the Facebook communities are great for that. I've been blessed that I've been able to make connections for some people. people that have way more talent than I will ever have, I happen to know, and be able to point them in the right direction at each other is an amazing feeling when that stuff.
Yep. And this corner of our hobby is so open and friendly anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody is willing to say, hey, you need to work on this. You need to do this a little bit differently in your book. But you need to do, whatever. Your font is wrong or what? Like that's an actual issue that the IP was talking about. That last week, I think it was. We were talking about fonts and how they didn't look right on the cover for one of the guys. So, it's just listen to the people around you, and pretty soon you're one of the voices that's helping other people too.
Well, in a way, it's like crowdsourcing, right? I mean, this community. It's saying this community is a very open community. I remember when I first met Zach, and Zach Zach was trying to get me to learn how to do layout. He's like, dude, I'll spend hours with you to get. I couldn't. My layout again. I laid out the original printing of Swords and Wizardry Continual Light, and I've never heard anything particularly bad said about it. I've never heard anything good said about it. I've heard I've heard it's serviceable, it's passable, it does what it needs to do. Nobody goes, wow, that's an amazing layout. Nobody goes, wow, that's shitty. No, it's like, yeah, I'm like, all right, well,
But really, that's what a good layout is, right? Like, because if you say that's an amazing layout, you're talking about a book like Mort Borg, or the Lamentation of the Flame Princess stuff, where it's no longer presenting a game; it's a art book that has a game in it.
Right.
So as long as it's serviceable, that's what at the end of the day, that's what you really want.
Right. Like I'll look at the what was Numenera? I look at that, and it's the layout's amazing. I can't read it for shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the type of thing that that matters for layout. If you don't have that contrast right or that font right, and somebody can't read it, that book is worthless.
Yeah.
That's why I like Greg's stuff, because you guys make D&D products for old farts.
Yep.
Because I've told Greg before, Rocky's this is perfect because the layout it's clean, it's white on black, it's easy to read, the fonts read. I mean, I love the stuff. It reminds me of stuff back in the 1980s, which there was nothing wrong with stuff back then. If you could read it, that's all you matters. Is can you read it? Can you find stuff easy? Is it discernible by my old OSR eyes because I can't see anything anymore? That's exactly what I need. I don't like font too small. I don't like colored backgrounds. Colored backgrounds can sometimes work. Sometimes they don't work. And if it doesn't work, it looks terrible. I mean, you can't read it at all.
Right. That was Numenera. I took the book, went, this looks amazing. And I tried to read it, and I went, I can't read it. And then I just put it on the shelf. Until I had one of my friends, not going to name them because I don't want to get them in trouble or not.
Oh, come on, name them.
They took the PDF, and they removed the layer with all the goddamn artwork.
There you go.
And I could actually read the PDF. But at which point I was no longer enabled with Numenera. It was no longer going to be the big shit for me anymore. Greg Gillespie, I'm a pain in the ass, but I'm a pain in the ass with vision.
And he can be a pain in the ass, but when we're done, it's always an amazing book. Like I've done 2 of them with him now, Highfell and Dwaro Deep, and like I said, I'll swear his name up and down while I'm working on it. But at the end of the project, he always puts out something amazing, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, I think Greg is like any of the rest of us too. Is that like every time he does this, he gets better.
Yep.
And Dwaro Deep.
I think so. I think it's true.
I mean, Barrel Maze and Barrel Maze 2, and then Barrel Maze Complete. I mean, it was the first time I saw a mega dungeon that's like, oh my god, I can run this in pieces, and my party will never. I can pull pieces out. I don't feel like they have to explore everything because it's all these little self-contained pieces of a larger puzzle, and that was eye-opening.
That's how most of his mega. That's how Forbidden Caverns and Highfell are also, because they're a whole lot of dungeons in one location, and so you can choose where you want to go. It keeps it lively. You're not always doing the same thing.
Yeah, there's still some player agency too, and like. That's
Yep.
important.
And Dwaro Deep is way different than the rest of them before. It's released now, we said, right? So I can talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I just got
So he's got a whole section in that book about creating basically Underdark passages between the different dungeons. That's
Right.
amazing. So, they're
What's
not
very
all in the
cool
same
is-
location, but
I talked to Greg about that. What's cool is it kind of harkens back to remember the D series
yep.
of Gygax, where you had all those hexes and you had all the passages, and then
And that's exactly what it is.
yeah, it was so cool. It came with different. There was tertiary, primary, secondary passages, and then it would have different counters for every type of passage. It had sample passages, and I looked, and Dwarf Deep's got the same.
Just don't look for the level 7 encounters. Just don't
Uh-oh.
look for those. That
No.
would be a layout mistake.
Oh,
Nice.
well, you know what? Falling on the sword, we always appreciate that. That's a rarity. So God bless you, son. God bless you.
It was in the folder. I was tired, or like after about 2 hours of layout, I have to take a break, and I was probably over that 2 hours trying to finish up that section. It just completely missed that chart.
It's so much simpler without it. Just
I was thinking of something, Rocky. You know what I missed this year that I had last year was I missed your
fried
wife.
Pies.
No, I missed your wife yelling at me to drink water for like every 5 minutes.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Hydrate.
Yeah, she wasn't going to make it either way this year.
God.
So.
She beat my ass down last year because I was so sick the night before.
Don't fuck with my wife, man.
sick.
She tells you to take a drink of water. You better take that drink of water.
You need to hydrate. And so every 5 minutes, drink your water. It's like it's spilling everywhere. I'm all scared. Okay, I'll drink the water. Yes, but no, she was great. She helped me keep hydrated.
I have a pretty fantastic wife.
Yeah, your wives are both. You guys married way up.
Yeah, I definitely
disturbing how far up.
Married way above station.
Take a drink. Okay, whatever you say, Kendra. It's nice and cold.
I guess it's in water. I guess more wine's in water.
I need that beer. Thank you, Kendra. No, that was we missed that. We really missed you, Rock. It sucked. Matter of fact, I would say, and these two guys could back me up. Probably the number one thing everybody would say we're together is, "Damn, wish Rocky was here," because it just sucked you weren't there. Because I know what a good time you have there. I know how everybody likes to see you there.
I really do enjoy that convention. It is so much fun. It's nice that it's so intimate. And at this point, this would have been my fourth or fifth one. And I know everybody there. I know everybody there at this point. So,
well, I hope you guys can make. I mean, definitely plan on making it next year. I definitely get that on your schedule for next year.
Oh, I plan on coming next year. I have two of the kids that are trying to talk me into driving down. So
driving down,
we'll
see. It'll be great, right?
I don't mind doing the drive at all. Like, I like driving, so
yeah, kids will cramp your style.
Yeah, that's the thing. Hanson's gonna be old enough where he probably won't cramp my style, but Spencer is gonna only be 11, so probably not yet.
All up in your business.
I definitely want you guys to be there next year because let's just do it. I want you guys to be special guests next year at the con, so I definitely want you to be here. Now, what does that get you? It doesn't really get you
absolutely
anything.
Except for
you're going to be special guest of the con.
Do I get a T-shirt? I want a T-shirt.
You get a T-shirt. You get $100 when you walk in the door from Gary, and you get to be special guest. But I would like you both to be special guests next year if you guys would say yes on that. Hopefully, you guys will be. So you'll be there. So
it's about time.
This is all before I mean, this is you're the first people I've asked. You're the first two people I've asked to be special guests.
I don't think we're going to get you any additional attendance.
Well, you know what it is, guys, right? Like Frank's not going to be coming again, so that's your spot, Ian.
Frank,
probably done.
Well, Tim Cass announced at the con that he probably wouldn't be at any other cons, so you have the Tim Cass spot now.
Yeah, you see. So. Those are big. Well, in the case of Tim, that's a big motorized scooter you got to fit.
Yeah, we're gonna. Gary's right. We're gonna do. We're going to do a little more for the special guests this year. We're going to have a little swag bag for them, which we haven't had in the past. And I mean, we appreciate our special guests because obviously most of the time we can't offer big time cons. We can't offer travel expenses and rooms and stuff. But we hope that by being a special guest at our con, it'll transfer, it'll transform you, and you can say other cons. I was a special guest in North Texas. Why don't you make a special guest at your con? Like, oh, really? North Texas? Like, what is North Texas? I don't know. Well, there were special guests there. Okay, yeah. I mean, that's what Skeeter does. Skeeter brags about it. Nobody knows what North Texas is. He's like, I've been a special guest in North Texas a couple of times. That's how he got this gig at GaryCon, man.
I thought wasn't he like an industry associate or something at GaryCon this year?
Yes, he parlayed it. Man, I'm telling you,
industry associate.
I don't know.
I don't tell yourself.
He wasn't special guest. It was something weird like industry insider or associate.
He did the It's Called Cthulhu adventure that they ran at the con. So I mean, he's it
was a good adventure. He wrote a good adventure for that one.
I heard he got Satine and Jameson kicked out too. So I don't know. I heard he was behind that. I heard he was behind them getting booted out, but I don't know. So yeah, I mean, apparently Skeeter's got a lot of influence in the industry now. So
Gary's saying that we could stay at your house, Mike, and use your car.
Why don't you do that? Because I won't be there. So you just stay at my house. You got to feed my cat though. My cat needs to be fed.
That's fine.
Watered. So if you do that, you're fine.
The cat.
But you don't
bring the cat to the con.
Yeah, right. Cat carrier for the con.
I just bought a kick-ass new cat carrier. Actually, it's nice. It's like kick-ass. So yeah, that's great. You guys can do that. Definitely bring the cat to the con. That'd be great.
Multi-layered with a built-in pan, so she can put it in and go up on top. That's cool. I gotta get that for our
litter box. Have your kids play with the cat. That'd be great. She would love that. She loves kids.
We'll save it for when Stefan sets up the Dwarven Forge and release the cat.
We'll let the cat out in that room. We'll just put the cat there all night. Yeah, there's cat poop in the middle of the castle.
What? What's this hairball? No, that's not hair.
The cat's curled up in the bottom of the tower. You're like, oh!
Oh, the cat! Oh my God, the cat!
Hello, everybody. That's an okra jelly. That is not cat vomit. That's okra jelly we have.
Who put the cat in my dungeon? Oh. Stephanie, by the way, Stephanie had a great time at the con, man. He carries that boombox around, and usually it drives people insane. They gave him, the con was so kick-ass, they gave him a special room off of the dining room where he could just go and rock out. And so it was great. We went in there
after the first night. They were like, well, how are we going to handle this? I know. Let's put him in the quasi-soundproof room.
Yes, it was great. And so everybody could come in there and pay homage to Stefan. And we got him to mix up the music this time.
Oh my God.
It was unbelievable. He played Billy Joel. He played like Jerry Rafferty.
He played
Johnny Cash. Yes.
Cash.
It wasn't just all metal this time. I was just shocked. He absolutely
I was pretty shocked by that too. I think it was
great.
Surprise,
he had a ball, man. He had his own room. It was like he was just so pumped up. Like, they gave me my own room. Look, it's my own room. I can turn the radio up as loud as I want. And it was great, man. We rocked out there one night. It was cool.
I'm really curious about what's going on. What is this thing that you're all here doing?
Yeah. Everyone's like, why are they all surrounding this guy with an amplifier?
He just looks so happy, but what are they doing?
He looks like he looks so nondescript for somebody that's done as much as he has in the hobby.
Yes.
It's like, who's this guy? I mean, what's his deal? It's like, oh, he did Dwarven Forge. What's Dwarven Forge? Oh my gosh, Dwarven Forge is everything.
It's a multi-million-dollar company. He's
for sure living
on a mansion and a yacht.
He runs a great game though, and he's like super into it.
He does.
He's a great ambassador to the hobby in that way because he's always happy. He's always smiling. He puts on great games, and he loves coming to our con. He just loves being there. Like Gary says, let's be clear. I asked the hotel if they give him his own space after they complained to me.
Gary says, I can't move him, so you're going to have to accommodate him, okay?
What can we do with this, Mr. Oliver? What can we do with this guy? We really need him out of the main room with his boombox. Okay, put him in the back. So that worked out perfect. That worked out good though. So Stefan was super happy. I mean, it's not like really if we'd done what GaryCon does, we just would have rented out the whole bar area and had Stefan play his music and kind of like renting it out for a wedding, so to speak.
Just give him one of the banquet rooms and let it be like Stefan's dance party, Let him buy if
His
you told
70s
him-
rock
if
and
you
roll
told him
dance
he could
party.
buy a keg in there and do that, he 100% would.
I would 100% show up for that. That would be the most awesome thing
Yeah,
ever.
everybody would
Oh.
roll into that for a little while, you know.
We got to think about this. Stefan Percorni's 70s dance party. Yes, I'm Percorni's 70s dance party. I like this.
Ron
I like this.
Corny's dance panic.
And he could be like, he's like the DJ. He has his hat on sideways. He could be up
The
there.
gnome hat.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna yes, it's so big. Oh man, this would be great.
I need my purple suit with the wide lapels and the big white shirt collar. Come on.
Gary says he has his own boardroom, but you can't dance in a boardroom, Gary.
That
This is
brings
rock and
back
roll.
like the Gen Con dance, like Friday night dance at a convention.
I could throw some John Travolta moves out there. This would be great.
So many injuries, just so many dance injuries of old people.
We had people falling down as it was. Kim fell down and hurt herself at the midnight auction of all places. So yeah, we'll probably have some
I think
injuries.
that was your fault, Mike, because
Yeah, it
It
sounds
was
like a
not my
Satan
fault. I
deal
was
to
on
me.
stage.
absolutely Gary's fault, right? It was the standing ovation for Gary.
Yes, it
And
was Gary. She stood up and. Well, what's weird is she stood up, and then when she fell, she got her finger caught between because the seats were all
Yeah,
locked.
she tried to catch herself.
It went in between the seat, and it pulled, and it looked so bad. It looked.
She's
I'm
a
up on stage
trooper, though.
watching it happen, going, "Oh God, that's hurt. Oh, that must have hurt."
She jumps back up quick.
Yeah.
I can't believe it didn't break her finger. I was just shocked it didn't break her finger.
And by the way, for future reference, having those seats right next to each other for gamer sizes, is not good. It reminds me of going to a Broadway play, and you kind of have to like wedge yourself into the.
You're telling me I was sitting next to Jake. It was like we were like any sort of.
Oh my God!
Hey,
You and Spoon were like you're like this, and Spoon's like.
Yeah,
I just kept getting pushed into the aisle.
Oh God. Yeah, Wally Woodtree. Glenn fell in the shower. That's different than falling in the.
And Greg Gillespie was his roommate at the time, so you can probably blame Greg.
Glenn fell in the shower, and I swear, I think you heard it all through the hotel. I think the hotel went boom. Like, what the hell?
You think Greg like Looney
like
Tunes?
a sonic boom or something? Because he fell.
Greg like Looney Tunes booby trapped him, like threw out a wet bar of soap.
Yes. Now I gotta add this. Well, he was experimenting with traps, for.
I think he broke his collar.
That's not the Kid Guero deep trap.
He either broke his collarbone or something. He hurt himself pretty bad.
Yeah, broken collarbone is what, like 2d6 damage?
Yeah, 2 to 4 at least.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Bludgeoning.
This hotel spaced them out a little next year. That's good. I don't care because I'm Satan on the stage. I don't give a shit how close you guys are together down there. So.
You will care, Mike. You will care.
Oh, why would I care? I don't give a shit.
We'll make sure.
I'm up there laughing at you guys the whole time, trying to fuck.
See, Mike. 1 year we got to turn the tables on Mike.
No, that's never going to happen. Matter of fact, now that you're talking so much, Tenkar, we may have to sell your soul to the devil next year because we sold Ian. Well, we tried to sell Ian's. Ian
Ian doesn't have a soul.
He didn't. I know that's what Satan noted on there. That he was tricked by. Ian. There's no soul available.
By next North Texas, there may be an unenforceable lien on my soul by TSR. You never know.
Actually, we did sell your soul, Eric. It was sold for YouTube. No, wait. Yeah, I think we sold. No, did we sell your soul? We sold. No, we sold Ty's soul. Ty's soul was sold. No, we didn't sell Eric's soul, but Satan has it, so Satan will sell your soul if you don't behave. He will. There'll be heavy bidding. There'll be heavy bidding. There's like a call in from Lanasa. Oh, a JL from Lake Geneva is called in, and
it's like, I will pay $1 million
for Eric's soul.
Monopoly money, please. Yes, Greg, that's a great story. I mean, I am sure it was like, what the fuck was that? Oh
my God, yeah. Like I said, I think the hotel shook when Glenn fell because he's a hill giant. He's so big and boom, like the whole hotel just kind of, whoa, what the hell? And like, oh, Glenn fell.
Hill giant.
He's huge. I'm glad he didn't get hurt worse than that, and so I think it worked out with him. I think the hotel gave him a little cash, so I think it worked out good. We're sorry. Well, I made a few years ago at GaryCon. I was in the shower there, and they don't have any of those protector things that go in the shower so you don't slip.
Right.
And I was taking a shower and the door was shut and Zach came in. He goes, "Hey, Mike." He yelled at me. I turned around and next thing I know, I flew up in the air and I saw the toilet coming up my face. I was like, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked. And my head missed the toilet by that much. I would have broken my jaw and knocked out teeth. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Wow.
And I just blew my head.
Zach did that to you stuff.
He goes, "What's up? What's wrong? What's wrong?" Because he heard it smash. I said, I fell down. I think I'm hurt. No, I'm okay. And then I missed the toilet. I'm okay.
Come in. Don't come in.
No, I wanted to come in. I said, "Come in. No, come in and help me." And I was splayed, like wide.
He's like, "I've already seen it. It's not a big deal."
No, but I avoided disaster barely. And I noticed the next time I came to GaryCon, they had plastic protectors on the shower, because it gets slick, man. Those things get so slick, and I can't. I mean, at one point, my feet were higher than my head. That's how much, like a cartoon. Your feet go up there, and you just can't control anything. I'm just looking for where to land so I don't hit my face, and it was scary, man. I had a bruise like on my head and like my arm that luckily I didn't get hurt worse than that, but I can imagine Glenn falling on his shoulder. That was really bad, I'm sure.
Now, Mike, being that like Zach was your roommate, you probably could have filed like a domestic incident report, and they would have taken it.
He's my convention spouse. He was my convention spouse.
Yes,
He's my convention spouse.
Well,
I can't room with him anymore because he brings his wife all the time. So all the fun's gone out of that now of hanging out with Zach at conventions. He brings his wife, so can't have any fun with that going on.
Yeah, but his wife is another one of those great wives that he married way above his station too.
I think we all did.
Did he really? Yeah. Did Zach really?
Come on, yeah, I mean,
yeah. No, he did. Yeah,
he definitely.
That's right.
You're not doing anything to convince her to kick Zach out and let you room there too, Mike. You gotta be.
I don't care about rooming there. I just want to loot the place. I don't care about rooming there very long. I mean, come on. We only have to be allies with Jen for a week or so. That's how long it takes to get the stuff in the car and drive off. So
you're talking about robbing for his.
I just got to back a U-Haul up to the.
You wouldn't even disturb him because it's a little bit farther away from where he sleeps now, so you can.
Just wait for him to put the VR headset on. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, you're right. He's walking around like this. I'm just loading stuff in the truck. I got to have work with Jen, though. See, I got to have Jen on my side to do that because that's too tough. Too tough to do by myself. I need her help.
You might be best off just taking the contents of box sets and just leaving the boxes empty.
Just holding it hostage, or just say, "Look, the box is worth anything without the insides, brother, and I got the insides right here." So.
That's so weird. You have an empty box because I got everything from the inside.
What are you going to do with that? Yeah, it sounds like you have to spend a little money.
I'll give you $1 for that.
Oh. So Waldy Wood says, "I'm taking some bad falls Gen Con." Remember that one year, Eric, we went there were all the ice. There was like the blizzard or whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
I almost fell that year. That was a pretty scary year because there was a lot of ice everywhere. A lot of ice.
Yeah, GaryCon, that was awful.
Yeah, we had to drive through that blizzard for about an hour, and Zach did a really good job. I was freaked out because all we were looking at was the car in front of us' backlights. You couldn't see anything.
That's all you can do in a blizzard is look at it.
We didn't know where we were going. We had no clue. We're just following a car ahead of us and just going about 15,
nothing
5 miles
better
an hour.
than some.
Look for the yellow line.
In winter.
Yeah, if the car in front of you goes off the road, you're going with it. That's basically how it goes.
That's how it works.
I've noticed they've been having the
Welcome to the Upper Midwest.
Later. I'm glad they have it later in March now. And that February stuff was bullshit, man. That place is scary in February. February is bad up there. And actually, early March is
off the snowbank and back into the road, so it's not really a big deal.
It was frightening, and it was.
Depends on how much snow there is in the bank right now.
Like the Death Star trench.
Well, I like that Alex has started doing Game Cold Con earlier, so now it's in October and not November because the last time I went last year, the weather was crazy. The weather was incredible last year because it was the last 2 weeks of October.
Yeah,
I think that's much better for Game Hole too, is to have it right before the weather starts getting cold and bad and rainy.
Yep.
and or snowy. But same thing with GaryCon. But GaryCon needs to postpone it a few weeks to the end of March, and I think they have.
tough too because it's in the middle of nowhere. Like no matter how you get to Wisconsin, it's still
Right.
like
Yeah.
an hour.
Yeah, it's not
Depending
near any like
No. And
you're
that's the
driving
one,
to get there no matter what.
that's the one knock on the con, right? Too is you fly in. If you fly into Madison or Milwaukee, you got to drive. You got a 30-minute drive to get to Lake
Until I
Geneva.
can convince Eric to get his pilot's license, like a
No.
little Cessna, and fly us there.
No. Although my son is taking his first flying lesson.
Well, my grandson will have his license by the end of the month, and he's
Well, there
ready.
we go.
He's ready. Let's do it.
So fly up to New York,
Sure,
then New
why not?
Hampshire, and then head to Wisconsin.
He's never flown
Never
farther than
lucky.
Waco, but we'll just see.
It'll
We'll
be
just
fine.
what
It
the
all
hell
looks
is that?
the same above the clouds.
Come on, it's
Yeah,
fun.
come on.
It'll be fun.
They're all fine.
He's
It'll
never
be
flown bad weather or when it's been too windy, but we'll
He'll
just do it.
learn.
That's how you learn, right? You throw him in the
Right.
pool. You learn how to swim. Same thing with flying.
We all get a parachute. Come on.
What's the worst that could happen? Yeah,
Yeah.
Nothing bad could happen. Nothing. Not at all. No.
some guy just crashed a plane into a lake where I live,
Oh.
Oh, nice.
but he was fine. He swam away.
Yeah, because he crashed into a lake, not a parking lot.
Yeah, you can't land on the highway. Crash.
We
into
had a
the
whole
lake.
discussion one afternoon, my grandson and I, about all the rock stars that died in plane crashes and how they could have been prevented. We went over each case. It's like, okay, here's what happened in this case. How could it have been prevented? And we went over every one. It was awesome, man. Leonard Skinner and Jim Croce and Otis Redding. We did every single one. Rick Nelson. Every one of them was preventable. We found out.
Oh, well.
Everyone was preventable.
Oops.
Yep. So, because I said, that's, the one way you learn is you have to study crashes, man. You study what they did wrong. And 99% of the time it's pilot error, man. I know it sounds terrible, but it is. They fuck up and they don't do something right, and we sure enough, pretty much every rock star that's died in a plane crash has been pilot error. The pilots are either they're back there, with the guys drinking up or snorting or doing
What's wrong with
something.
that?
Well, nothing. If you like check like the case of the Leonard Skinner, you got to check your whatever O-rings and make sure they're not dry or whatever, and they take off and plane explodes or goes straight down as soon as you take off because they didn't do pre-check. They did no pre-check. Turned out they just say, "Yeah, man, let's get in the play this party. That's all."
What's an
No
O-ring?
pre-check.
Starts it like a car.
The guy before me took care of it. It's like tossing your own prisoners. Come on, who does that? Oops.
All right.
So, I put up the link again in the chat. So
Yeah, we
those
appreciate
at
it.
home who haven't done it yet can go to the Kickstarter and put down at least your $6. Get your PDF.
This is ridiculous. We need 100 backers. I need one more backer here. This is fucking ridiculous. I'm serious. Somebody do this. We're going to have 100 backers by the time we end this. I'm not going to stop at 99 backers.
Don't let Mike.
Somebody drop your fucking $20 down right now. Otherwise, I'm coming to your house. It's not going to be pretty with my cat. With my kick-ass cat carrier and my cat.
I can't carry it. We're going to count there. We're going to poop on you.
I did get
Mike, not the cat.
all of the Fantastic Geographic #1s mailed yesterday, except for 3. So anybody that's waiting on that, they are in the mail. So if you want to go ahead and back for number 2, yeah, Darren was number 4 that didn't give me his address yet. But
there's a reason why people aren't getting theirs immediately because they are probably
Well, what happened actually was my bank stopped me from being able to put money into stamps.com because I thought it was fraudulent. So that took a week to clear up.
What?
I could, so that's what the delay was actually.
That's stamps.com is an established company. Good Lord.
Yep. Yeah, but it's the last time I used it was in 2018 or 2019.
Oh, okay.
Right, when we did Creeping Cold. So my bank was like, this seems fraudulent. You spent $200 there this week. We're going to stop all payments for a while till you figure out what's going on.
What?
So that's took a week to clear up.
Yeah, it's stupid. That's
All right,
dumb.
Gary says he'll be your Huckleberry. He'll be number 100.
Please,
Gary.
thank you, Gary. That's just ridiculous. Let that sit there at 99 all night.
Which is
That's
awesome
bullshit.
because Mike was offering a bribe, and since you're near Mike can provide
Yeah,
that
he can
bribe.
actually
Yeah,
extract that.
I was going to show you my boobs, and I'll show Gary my boobs next time I see him. So that's going to be
Poor
perfect.
Gary.
Yeah. He wanted to do it. That's why he asked. That's why he did it.
Gary's like, I am
Gary-
rescinding my backing.
No, he wanted it. He believe me.
Mike
he wanted
says take any book you want from his house next time you're over. You can just.
he hasn't
have
ever been to my house. That's perfect. He doesn't come. I don't invite him over to my house.
Hold
I don't
on.
want him in my house.
He's in your house right now.
Oh, there we go. Yay,
Yeah.
100. Nice.
We got 100.
All right, time to show my boobs. Let's do it.
We were happy. We were playing with funding levels on this one too because we wanted to. I don't know. We were why did we? We were just adjusting from. I think 300 was our issue one.
Yep.
We
Yeah, and,
wanted-
this is what our
If
third.
Mike's gonna show boobs, I need to put them on the bottom so we can't see boobs.
No, I'll wait.
You
Gary
can have a
deserves
black censored
Gary
bar.
deserves a private showing. He'll get a private showing.
Yeah, he doesn't want the bonus content, right? I don't want the bonus content.
I don't want us to get demonetized here or anything.
Gee.
Although we haven't had any money this week. Last week we were rolling the dough.
Oh,
got
I
nothing this
don't know, but we've been doing like $4 or $5 a day, which I know it's not huge, but I'll take
Last
that.
week we did about $50, right, or more than that.
Hold on, I will tell you.
Yeah, there was a bidding war last week because
there was.
Peter is awesome.
After fees from YouTube, which takes 30%, we made $55.49.
Look at
Wow.
that.
Nice,
But
nice.
so very nice. I can't complain. It's very good of all of you. Honestly, folks, listen, we've hit I think 1,380 subscribers. So the subscriber numbers have been going up really strongly. Keep it up. When we hit 1,500, we do our giveaways. So that'll be Drive-Thru RPG,
Oh,
and maybe a giveaway or two from my gaming collection as I start clearing through it.
What are we at now?
Ooh, my wife's telling me to do some culling. I should pull out some weird stuff that I have.
Oh,
Put it for giveaway. It'll all be.
we're at 1,380, so we need another 120.
We can do that. We can easily do that. Come
Next
on,
time I'm up there, I'll look for
Yeah.
a esoteric weird thing to donate.
It came from the late show.
Yeah, something like that, or
How late was it? It was really
like a Little Fears or something funky.
God, I love that game. We need to play that soon.
We should.
Gary, I think the key thing to keep in mind is I outplayed Zach by $6.
That's true. He
Everybody
did. He
knows
beat
you're a
Zach.
better person than Zach.
He beat Zach. That's true. It's beautiful.
What Zach does is he bids at a decent level and then he cancels his pledge right before Kickstarter.
Wow, that does sound like his modus operandi.
That's so wrong. It can't be right. It can't be.
No.
But damn, it would be funny
That's
if it was.
unverified. That would be-
Unverified rumor. We
Yeah.
must say this ahead of time. The opinions and assumptions expressed by people like Ian McGartney do not necessarily reflect.
What do you mean?
Reflect.
Tucker
the,
Carlson movies. I could
Watch
say
that ginger. You better hit that ginger beer a little too hard tonight.
The ginger beer is a diet ginger beer with no alcohol.
Oh God! Oh no!
Why are
Okay.
you drinking it?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
good.
I was say, wow.
But I have the wine to go along with it. I had the wine to go along with it, and the wine is down to.
There we go. Now we're
with
talking.
ginger beer. I've never heard that before.
Oh yeah, no. And I don't like ginger ale, but a good ginger beer has a nice little bite that you almost feel like you might be having something that's alcoholic.
I've been drinking. I found Diet Dr. Pepper with cream soda in it. Those have been pretty
Those are good.
exceptional.
That sounds. I could do that.
I've been off soda for 4 weeks now again. It's
Okay.
summertime, so it's a lot of iced tea,
Oh,
you know.
good enough. That works.
I have a horrible time giving up soda, man. But I wish I could. It's not good for you. Even diet soda is not good for you.
Yeah,
just
no,
bad
it's not.
stuff.
Like,
Yep.
and I hit 201 pounds, and I'm mad about it. So
Gary wants to know who signs his physical copy because he signed up for the $25 one.
Wow.
Anybody you want, as long as you don't authenticate it.
Yeah.
Come on, we can have Gygaxes sign it. We could have
Sure.
you know what?
I'll bet we can talk Skeeter into signing it.
Oh,
Skeeter did something in it. So
He
yeah,
did
Skeeter,
something in it, yeah.
You know what I didn't do this year was
I don't want to know what he did in it. That already sounds kind of.
Usually at the midnight auction we offer a dice bag signed by past celebrities that may or may not have attended the con. I forgot to do that this year. We need to have that next year again.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, when we have celebrities that for some reason everybody didn't notice attended the con, like Bill Cosby and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Pete Townsend. We'll have a signed dice bag with all their names on it. I just forgot it this year, so I need to get that.
Keith Richards dice bag.
Yeah, all those guys have been to the con one time or another. It turns out, and you just never see them. Sometimes you don't see them. You just don't see them. They game in the back room. You don't.
Yeah, they got the VIP section.
Did you ever accidentally use one that you found out later actually gamed though? That would be great.
No, because it's always people like Prince, or it's people like over the top, like Betty White. Just people that.
I bet Prince would have a killer dice set too.
Oh yeah, he totally would.
Like they'd be like stone with like real gold.
Yes.
Right, but no numbers on them, just symbols.
Just symbols.
Yeah, just simple. Is that a hit or not? Oh, it's a hit. It's a hit. I don't know.
It's all the Prince too, yeah.
I rolled a 20.
Is that a 20? Yeah, that's a hit. That's a hit. I can't believe you, Prince. I'm sorry. It's just a symbol.
No, but they're all symbols.
Would you care though? Like, would you call out Prince for cheating at your game?
Hell no. I'd be loving it.
Yeah, I would. I don't care.
It'd be more fun calling him out for cheating.
Can you imagine his entourage at the convention? He did have just these beautiful babes just kind of hanging out with. They're like, oh my god, look at that entourage! Prince's entourage would have been awesome, man.
You should send a fluke special guest invitation to like someone ridiculous.
No, like Joe Manganiello. No,
Stephen Colbert. Yeah, Joe.
Yeah.
No, I don't want this guy. I don't. After all this stuff happened with Gary Con, I don't want any special guests like that at the con now.
Oh,
because you just you ride or die with whatever happens to them in their life, and you don't want Stephen Colbert to be. Turns out, he's a I don't know, bank robber.
Yeah, don't even say it. Don't even say it because
I say what I thought.
I think we're like for the most part, like we're there to play games and talk about game and stuff and doing games. that's
well, you know what? So what we have you guys here, and we talked about it last week. What do you think about the celebrity gamer brouhaha going on now? Yeah, obviously it's good for the hobby in one way. Like, hey, you got these famous people playing the game. They show up for the con and they bring more interest to the con. But then you have the dark side, which is, well, are they really associating with the other guests? Do they really bring anything to the con? What do you guys feel about that?
I think it's easy to get caught up in the spectacle of celebrity for people who are swirling around its center. But I don't know. You can ask Rocky too. I'm sort of not immune to celebrity, but I just don't care.
Largely neither one of us really care that much. There are very few people that were like, oh my God, I really want to know that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like my smaller conventions. I've been complaining for years that Gary Con has gotten a little too big for its britches. Gamehole is a big convention that runs like a small convention, so I have no complaints about that one. We stopped going to Gen Con years ago because it became too big. I don't think we need those celebrity presences in the convention scene for the most part. The conventions run better and they're more fun when they're more intimate.
Well, that's why I call these cons now like Gen Con. They're basically what they call entertainment cons. That's the same thing with Dragon Con, San Diego Comic Con. They're not about their subject matter anymore that originally brought them to prominence. They're just an entertainment con. You go there because you're going to be entertained there, not because you're going to be playing games or buying comics or whatever. It's because there's cosplayers
Yeah,
there.
Comic Con's not about comic books anymore at
No,
all.
not at
It's
all. Not at
about
all.
it's about movies, and it's about celebrities, and it's about being seen with the right people.
It's
And
about media. It's about media
right,
production.
yeah, and video game. And I'd much rather go to the Detroit Comic Con, which is 3 hours away, and I'm gonna meet people that are actually making comic books there.
Right.
Well, the guy,
same thing with gaming.
Chuck, I can't remember his last name. The guy that owns Mile High Comics, he stopped going to San Diego Comic Con about 3 or 4 years ago after going there like 30 years in a row. And he penned a long diatribe about why he wouldn't go anymore. It's basically because they stuck him all the way in the back of the room. They said, don't associate with the celebrity guests. And they just basically put him in the ghetto. Said, you guys are back here now. It's really, and it wasn't. It's not about comics anymore. So they didn't really care that there was comics there at the convention. They said, yeah, we don't care. And they just stuck him in the back. And he just said, what? I'm not going to go anymore. This doesn't make any sense to haul all the stuff in a U-Haul all the way from Colorado, set up, and then just have you guys treat us like this. And I thought it was pretty insightful diatribe about what Comic-Con has done.
Supposed to be the reason that they're there.
Yep. As long as our gaming conventions are about games, I don't care who comes.
Right.
But the more celebrities you invite, the less likely they are to be about games.
Right. No, that's true.
It makes sense.
And there's that weird balance that has to be hit. And
yep.
I don't want to insult anybody who runs a convention in the gaming community, because it's a hard decision to balance the money that you're going to probably make by having certain names come to your con versus are you losing the actual content that the majority of your people come to a con for? And that's a weird balance.
And it's something that you got to figure out. And Gary Con, they've outgrown the venue. They outgrew the venue before COVID.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Right? So I don't know why they're continuing to pander to the celebrity crowd, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's Luke's, and good for him having such a successful convention. But it's just a little too big nowadays for what I enjoy. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll probably go again next year, but I don't know for sure yet.
I'm on the fence.
Yeah, I'm on the fence too, but I'm leaning towards it just because.
Rocky and I will probably sit down and talk about it.
Yep.
Let's say you have
it's the Mecca, right?
Well, let's say you have a special guest. Let's say Deborah Wall. Deborah Wall's actress, wonderful. Seems like she's really a nice person. I've seen her. She runs live games of with kind of celebrity games, and she was in Daredevil, the Netflix. She's been up a few things. Seems like she's super nice. Seems like she really likes D&D. She runs it. She seems like she has a good time. Okay, so let's say that she calls Gary and I up and say, "Hey, I really want to run a game at your con." Well, it's not like we'd say no. We'd be like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, also have Deborah
You're
Wall
not
there,
inviting her as a special guest. She's coming as a player or a DM.
What is she bringing? What does she bring to the con? Yes, she would probably bring star power in terms of, hey, she'd go on her blog or Instagram account or whatever and say, "I'm going to be in North Texas." Like, cool, maybe. But the problem is, who you're getting? Who's going to be there because Deborah Wall?
Well,
people that we probably don't care about. People that you're like,
and on top of that, you've got a capped attendance of what, 500? How close were you to that this year?
We were about 405 or so. Gary knows exactly.
406 if I would have showed up, but
But I mean, we weren't that super close. But
somebody like Deborah Wall, if you invite her as a special guest, is going to put you over that cap and make you make some difficult decisions.
A lot of people that we don't really care if they come or not. Is what it boils down to, because they'll be there because, I think Joe M is a real gamer too. I think Deborah Wall is a real gamer.
Yeah, if they're there to game.
And Joe's written some stuff too of his own.
Gaming. We're not talking Satine and Jameson there who were like whatever. We're talking to people that were actually celebrities that are real gamers. And I think Joe Manganiello is. I think Matt Lillard. I think Deborah Wall is. But what do they bring to your con? I mean, besides the fact they have star power and that people might go just so they can get a glimpse at Joe, Joe's pecs or whatever.
Well, Matt Lillard is really pretty nice though. Like we bumped into him at Game Hall Con, and he's always just like super kind to everybody. And he goes to the booth that he's working with that company that he's a part of.
Oh right,
But he's not like, you wouldn't be like, this guy's a pushy celebrity. Like he seems human.
Okay.
And he seems like a good guy.
And I think that anybody, like I said, I keep saying it, but anybody that wants to come to game should be able to come in game. And if
Sure.
Deborah Wall or Joe Manganello or Will Wheaton or whoever, let them come in game. They don't have to be a special guest to come and play. They might need some special accommodations because of their fame, but that's something to talk to the convention runners privately about, right?
Well, see that's where you run into stuff like with our convention, because we have a stated policy of we don't have any special guests, accommodations. Matter of fact, special guests at our con are expected to, be with everybody else, eat dinner with everybody, hang out with everybody. We don't have a paywall. Like, hey, you can't be with these guys unless you pay the special fee. And so that might be tough for some special guests who are used to that kind of treatment. Like, oh, I'm just supposed to walk around. Like, yeah, you don't go hide in your room or go. We don't have a green room. We don't have anywhere else to go. You're supposed to be part of the con. Whereas I think a lot of the bigger cons, that's how they accommodate these guys. Oh yeah, you don't have to be around with everybody. Yeah, you can just go here and be the special room and do all your special stuff. Yeah. And that's my problem with some of these conventions. They have these celebrities, is you can go to the convention and never see the celebrity. You don't see them because they're running games behind closed doors the whole time.
Yep.
For the VIP crowd.
I do like the North Texas, like the golden ticket sort of thing where you can, because it's reasonable. For, what is it, like $50 or something like that? That you can get. Is it that's still like if you're desperate to play with your buddies and you're the only one who didn't get a ticket, that could get you and it's not a tremendous burden on anybody running a game. So it's like, okay, sure.
And $100 to play in a game with somebody like Delaney, and if you don't have access to him, right? Like, he's an amazing DM. Gillespie, like these guys are the people that are driving forward the industry right now. In your convention, running games that $100 to play with them.
Yeah,
I've seen Gary Con charge way more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because they're platinum or diamond order badge for like $1,000.
And they're
You should make a platinum badge though that just offers the same benefits as every other badge.
It's more money.
Just pay more. Just pay more for the exact same thing.
If someone buys it.
They probably would, just for the hell of it. It would be funny as hell.
$1,000 badge, just be like, see above badge for details, and it's just the listing of the previous badge.
We have our high rollers that every year come to us and ask us what can we do to do this. And I mean, we always tell them, like, first of all, bid the auction, just bid items up. We don't care. If you don't want the item, just bid it up anyway. If you're going to spend. But we started doing really well this year with sponsorships, something we had never done with Doug very much, because Doug really wasn't interested in sponsorships. But people love sponsorships, man. We sponsored about every single shift of the serving girls.
Yeah, the shirts was great.
But we had a lot of sponsorships this year, and it worked out really good because people got to sponsor rooms, we had the midnight auction sponsor this year, which is hilarious because we had Dave Donahue give us a big giant check for $666. and that was funny. So there's ways that those people can help without having to say, okay, we're going to have a separate track for you guys.
Right.
And you're not going to
by the way,
hang around.
Since Gary is here, I'm going to put you and Gary on the spot.
Oh, shit.
We have somebody, a publisher, that wants to sponsor Wednesday nights. They just want to have something in place to give to the con to know how to do this, to how to sponsor us.
Who's the sponsors?
Bill Barsh, Pace Set of Games.
Oh, yeah.
We
have no problem with that.
They're not talking to Bill right now.
So
we had some issues with Bill during the con. It's
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, Bill's a very valued member of our audience. So yeah, that would be definitely. I mean, we encourage people, if you want to sponsor something, you don't even have to just ask us, like, hey, can I sponsor whatever? Like, we had somebody that said, can I sponsor the chariot races? Like, yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome. You can do whatever you want. So yeah, whatever you want to sponsor, I mean, it's up to your imagination, I mean, if you want to sponsor Satan wearing a Speedo, I'll do it, so you're going to have to pay me a lot of money. God, a lot of money. More money than you could imagine.
I will pimp out anything I have if you've got the money. Like, whatever you want done, baby.
I'll put Ian in a Speedo. I would put Ian in a Speedo in a second, and he'd do it for charity.
I'm already in a Speedo.
Oh, I know you are. That's why
I got to lose some weight, but I'll do it.
Oh,
I
no.
really got to do Baby Yoda.
See, no, Rocky, we don't want people that volunteer. If you volunteer, there's something wrong with you. If you're like my brother, oh yeah, I'll do it every year. Like, yeah, that's
Oh, no,
why
I didn't
we're
say that.
worried about you.
I got to do
You
Baby Yoda
volunteered,
this
man.
year.
You volunteered.
You got to convince him to do Mando.
Yeah, Gary. Last Thursday in the Discord chat, Bill was reminding me that he still wants to sponsor Talking Crit and get like a 30-second advertising read in this. And I have no problem having sponsors as long as I'm not collecting money from it. We sponsor a good cause, and the tavern wants to see this money go to North Texas. So you two, the devil and Mrs. Jones, no, the devil and Gary can get together and work out
Talk
the
to him
details.
about that. Yeah, we would any we accept any and all sponsorship. We're not like Doug. Doug was too picky. Doug was extremely picky. Gary and I like we like green money. Green money is awesome.
The IPU sponsors Tim Kask's show by sending him a case of energy drinks every month.
Nice.
That poor old, you're gonna kill that old man. You're sending him energy drinks. Good
It's
Lord.
to counteract any downers. He's got to like level off.
Yeah, that's
Gonna balance them off for the shows.
keeps them balanced out.
Which,
by the way,
I'm not going to say anything.
Tim told us he's probably not going to come to the con anymore, not because he hates us, which could be a reason too. But no, he's just not traveling that much anymore. So that it was good. It was good to have Tim there one last time, and he had a good time. He was very, very outgoing and talked to a lot of people and hung out. But
he's getting up there, man.
Yeah, he is.
You can tell he's
tough for him.
It's tough for him. You can tell.
Beep beep coming through. There's Tim. Better watch out.
It's gonna be tough not seeing him. I feel like I've known that man for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we really have now.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's been to every North Texas except for the plague years, and he was at our first one too. He got inducted to the North Texas RPG Con Hall of Fame this year, along with Matt Finch and Janelle Jaquays and Doug Ray and Dennis Astaire. So that they were all there their first year. So
pretty good. It's a pretty good first year group.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Dennis didn't make it either.
Dennis couldn't come to the con this year.
Janelle is still my personal hero. So
yeah, she was very touched by it. She was thought it was really cool that she made it in. But she did so much for the con the first few years. She did 8 of our logos, logo 3 through logo 10, or actually 7. So wait, 3.
She does that so much for
8 of them. She did 8.
Period.
Yeah. When you have like a whole technique of dungeon making named after you, you've done something right in your lifetime.
I love that she was mostly ignorant of that too until recently. It was just like, I've heard that people have been.
Yep.
What did her Kickstarter end up with? Her Kickstarter went crazy, right? The Dark Tower Kickstarter. It ended up with some crazy numbers I saw. So I didn't know how much.
Well earned and well deserved.
Yeah. Owning the original and not worried about a 5e version of it, I was like, I can pass. But God bless.
Yeah, but for the people that can't get their hands on that, like you should.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have that adventure, you should be backing that. 100%.
Definitely.
So
that was good. That was good to have her. She was there with Rebecca, and everybody was, like I said, Dennis couldn't make it because of he had been to Chupacabra a couple weeks earlier, and they had a big COVID outbreak, and he is just very lucky to catch it because I think half the players at his table caught it. He was like, he wasn't running a game, but he was playing a game. And so he just didn't want to take the chance, which is, we had a few people that had COVID in North Texas, not a lot. We had about 4 or 5 people. We had Zeb got it.
I caught it at Chaosium.
Oh, I didn't know that. You caught it at Chaosium Con?
Yep.
Wow.
I did. Rocky did. Well, a bunch of us did.
It's something that's going to be part of our lives. And what was funny is Chupacabra Con had a full mask mandate and vax mandate. They still had a huge outbreak. They had over a dozen people catch it. So it's just going to be one of those things. You're just going to, you're going to catch it now.
Be like Eric says at the end of every single one of his things, listen to your doctors, right? Talk to your doctor, figure out what's going on. I'm boosted, I'm vaccinated, I've had all 3 jabs that they'll give me. I'll take a 4th one as soon as they give it to me. And you know what? I laid in bed for 3 days with the worst flu I've ever had. And then I got up and went back to my normal life because I was vaccinated and it did not kill me.
And it was like nothing for me, really. My wife was like, "You're sweating a lot in bed." But like, huh?
You're sweatier than usual, man.
I wake up, she goes, "You better COVID test again." It's like, oh yeah, I guess I'm positive. But I was after that, I had like a little bit of a runny nose for a day and was fine.
Yeah, for Rachel and I, the worst of the symptoms were over around New Year's. Maybe it lasted 3 days. And it was pretty much like, all right, I guess we're doing a lot of TV watching.
Yeah, and Beth did the same thing too. We just just set her up on the couch.
I'm still out on the. I still can't smell and taste 100% yet. So I had January.
Benefit.
I've heard it can last a while.
That was probably a blessing at a convention.
What you eat.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it was great at the con. It sucks. The taste part sucks because I'll taste periodically, and I'll be eating a meal. Like I had a friend from out of town, and I took her to eat Tex-Mex today. And at first, everything tastes good. Then halfway through the meal, I lost my sense of taste. There's no point eating anymore. I'm like, I can't taste anything. And so about half the meal was great. I was like, oh, this tastes great.
It's good though. That's like a diet program.
I guess so. It fades in and out. So I'm hoping it goes away in the next year. That's the worst side effect.
It was faded out for that McDonald's burger though, right?
I didn't even taste it. I didn't even taste it.
It's just like
nuke it up. Come on, just
didn't taste it. No, I can't taste this shitty beer.
Trying to get that chew sensation off the bone.
On that wonderful note of cringiness, we're knocking on 2 hours. So that's nice. Good. We had great guests. We have and Rocky, you were missed at North Texas. It wasn't the same.
Yes, you were. Yeah. You were, sir.
Yeah, well,
everybody we talked about it.
I'm still alive. I'm still healthy. Way worse things could have happened than missing a convention.
Oh yeah. No. I mean, hey, you could have been sent to. You could have landed in what, Boston?
Next time that happens, Rocky, right after your flight gets canceled, you jump in a car and you drive down. You'd have been down there before the flight. You'd have been there in 2 days.
Had my van not been in the shop, like we put my van needed some repair work, so we put it in the shop because I was going to Texas.
Yeah, like this will be the perfect timing.
Right. We're like, I don't need it. I'm going to be gone for several days. We're going to work on it. I'll get back and be fixed up. Had that not happened, I might have driven down.
Tulanian had to drive up from San Antonio, and Chris Fuller had to take a bus from Houston just because they didn't know when the next flight was going to come through. So screw it, we're gonna jump in the car and drive up there. So
yeah,
I had 4 people. That's what Rocky is.
I probably had about a half dozen. Have you seen Rocky? Yeah, no, I've seen that Rocky will not be here. Basically, I go, yeah, he's still up in his state.
I know that one night I was sitting in my king bed, all snuggled up, and I felt somebody pull up next to me, and it was Ian. He goes, "Pretend you're Rocky," because I know you guys share a king bed at conventions. I spooned him, and I was like, "Whoa!" He goes, "No, don't turn around. Don't turn around. Just pretend it's."
I had to switch to 2 queens.
Pretend you're Rocky.
It was Jake. I didn't want to get big spooned by Jake.
Yeah.
Sure. Then Spoon climbed into bed behind Ian, and it was really weird at that point.
I mean,
that's how
what happens in our hotel room is weird, but we all enjoy it.
Stays in the hotel room.
It's Moby Dick rules in our hotel room. We just jam. Like when we would do Gen Con, we jam as many guys in there as we could.
All right. Yeah. So basically, what you've already told me is that we should have ended this at least 60 seconds.
Your fault. So it's entirely your fault.
You can't sleep platonically next to someone without.
I can't.
didn't realize your
I woke up the next day and the bed was empty. I just pretended it never happened. It was great,
Yeah, it was great.
There was a pumpkin in the bed. There was a little pumpkin, and that was it. And so
I've been leaving you gifts in bed for years.
Who had the carrot in the bed? That's all I want to know. Whose carrot was it?
There's been worse stuff than pumpkins been left in my bed by these idiots. I've had much worse than pumpkins.
Yeah,
much worse
behind those too.
It was disturbing. It was stuff that was disturbing. I won't even tell you because it was disturbing, but it was bad.
All right.
It was real bad.
I'm going to thank these 2 knuckleheads for joining us. Oh my God! Again, Rocky, you were hugely missed, and we're glad we got to get a chance to bring you on. And we could have taken a left because we saw him like 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We had enough of him. We had enough of him in North Texas ended.
I had my Ian Phil, but we didn't have a Rocky Phil. So, actually, thank you both. Really,
thanks for having us on, and being our only promotion for this since we decided.
Yeah, right.
Since you dropped the ball.
We're ducking and
We're
weaving.
funded. We're fine. We're building a back catalog of
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and at this point, every backer is just more art,
Yeah,
maybe
for
art
real.
for the next one. Somewhere, it's more art somewhere.
There you
Yep.
go.
Pretty
That's what
much.
it should be. Hey, folks, you got probably just under 3 days. Back it. I put the link up multiple times.
Yes.
It just look back in the live stream. It'll be there. I will add it as a comment once the stream is done. Back it. You'll be happy.
It's well worth the money. It's very these are really nice. I mean, I really was very pleased, except for the printing error of the back cover, which wasn't
we
your
learned
guys'
from
fault.
that. I promise.
Yeah, but it's a really is well worth the money I paid for this. Well worth it.
So, as Rocky was hinting at, I'm not your father. No, as far as we know, nobody in this room is your father. Now, as far as we know, we're not here. We're not going to wipe your hiney. All right, we're not going to dab your nose. We're not going to kiss your knee when it's skin it, and we're not going to tell you how to use your common sense when it comes to COVID. All right, just going to say, use it. I've seen the demographics for our channel here. You are all adults, and if you're not, you're watching under your parent account, and we're going to assume that they know. Listen,
And you need to get out and make some friends and stop watching.
Yeah.
Tenkar's Night.
well, it's late at night. If you're watching it as a live stream, you're allowed to be in here. All right? But seriously, use your common sense. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Tomorrow should be maybe a regular episode, maybe a special drop. I don't know. Friday should be the random generated party at 8 p.m. 8 a.m. I'm not even awake. 8 p.m. Friday night and 8 p.m. Saturday night, Rich and I with Gamers Health. As
Random
always,
generated parties a hoot. Sometimes I drop in even.
Yes.
They start talking about something that I just can't shut up about.
Yeah.
Let me on, Eric. Let me on. And so
That's why I'm doing it. And honestly, this is an open invitation pretty much to anybody who knows me in the gaming industry. If you're somebody who's published stuff or written stuff and you hear a topic that you want to be part of, raise me up on Facebook, raise me up in the chat, and if I catch it, I'll bring you in for a bit. That's why it's the random generated party.
It's great. It's got a great crew. Joe the lawyer and Rob
It's a
Conley.
good idea.
All those guys. It's fun. Random generated party is great.
Yeah, sometimes even Tim Shorts, Matt Jackson, Greg Christopher. So basically, it's everybody that I game with that's a creator on some level gets to abuse me on every other Friday. So I mean, we use each other during the games on Mondays, so why not abuse me on Fridays?
Yeah, if you've never heard it, Eric kind of steps back and he just lets these guys go at it, and it's great. And
I just manage the chat, and every once in a while, if it's a really good comment, I'll bring it up and let them bounce off it. And if you want to know how much show prep we do, a huge amount of show prep, because these guys talk about the shit throughout the day to the point where I have to turn off notifications on my phone because I don't. And I'll look at it 2 hours later, 110 text messages.
So you're saying the exact opposite of show prep that you and I do, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Exact opposite, because we do nothing. We don't do anything.
You know what? Glenn and I might do less, but I'm not going to say that for sure. But all right, folks. Again, thank you all.
Later.